Hey everyone, and welcome back. I know a lot of you out there listening are looking to buy a multi-unit property, and I bet you're wondering, how do I get in with a low down payment? Well, good news. Fannie Mae just made it easier. They've got this new program. It could be a total game changer. It lets you buy a property with up to 4 units, with just 5% down.
Yeah, that is a pretty big deal, especially when you think about it. You know how much higher the down payment requirements used to be for these kinds of properties. I mean, it really opens up some doors.
Yeah, exactly. So today, let's walk through it. How does this program work? What are the requirements? How could it potentially benefit you? It sounds like it could be a fantastic opportunity for those looking to, become homeowners.
Yeah.
And maybe even start building a real estate portfolio.
Absolutely. One of the things I find so fascinating about this program is how it addresses what's often called the missing middle in housing. We're talking about like duplexes, duplexes, fourplexes. That can provide, more affordable home ownership options, especially for folks who have been historically left out of the market.
Okay, so let's break down this missing middle concepts a little bit. Like, help me understand. How common are these types of properties? Are we talking about like a tiny niche market here? Or is this something more substantial?
Way more common than you might think, believe it or not. About 7% of all homes in the U.S. and 1 out of every 6 rental units are part of a 2 to 4 unit building. So we're not talking about a rare thing here. These properties are out there, and they play a significant role in the housing landscape.
Wow, I had no idea they were that prevalent. So for someone who's never even considered this before, why is this 5% down payment option such a game changer? Like, what did things look like before?
Well, just imagine you're trying to buy a triplex, and you need to come up with a 25% down payment. I mean, that's a huge chunk of change, and it really shuts out a lot of potential buyers, especially first-time home buyers or those with limited savings. This new program from Fannie Mae drops that down to just 5%, which suddenly makes it much more achievable for a lot more people.
That's a huge difference. I can see how that could open up possibilities for people who were previously priced out of the market. Thinking about those, who would benefit most? Is there any data showing who lives in these properties currently?
You're right. It's a potential game changer, and you're spot on about the potential benefits. For certain communities, when you look at the demographics, both owner-occupants and tenants in these 2-4 unit properties are more likely to be Black or Hispanic Latino than homeowners and renters in general.
That's really interesting. So by making it easier to buy these types of properties, this program could actually help to close the racial wealth gap and create more opportunities for those communities.
That's exactly the hope. And it's not just about race, it's about income levels too. The median income for owner-occupants in these properties is a bit lower than the median for all homeowners, which suggests that this program could be a great fit for middle-income earners. We're struggling with affordability in today's market.
It's starting to sound like this program could be a win-win for a lot of people. Lower down payment requirements, potential benefits for historically underserved communities, and opportunity for middle-income earners to achieve home ownership. It's exciting. But I'm also curious about the nuts and bolts of this program for our listeners out there who are ready to start exploring this option. What are the specific requirements?
Great question. First and foremost, this program is designed for owner-occupants. That means you have to live in one of the units yourself. This isn't for investors who are looking to buy and hold properties purely for rental income. You're going to be a resident and a landlord.
So let me paint a picture here. Someone could buy a fourplex, live in one of the units, and rent out the other 3. That rental income could help offset their mortgage payments, making home ownership even more affordable.
Exactly. It's a smart way to make the numbers work and potentially build wealth over time.
Okay, so owner occupancy is key. What else do we need to know?
Well, the 5% down payment option applies to properties with up to 4 units. So that's duplexes, triplexes, and fourplexes. And here's another important detail. Fannie Mae requires the property title to be in the individual borrower's name.
What's the reason behind that requirement?
It helps ensure that the program benefits individual homeowners and families rather than large corporations or investment groups. They really want to keep the focus on making homeownership more accessible for everyday people.
That makes perfect sense. Okay, so owner occupancy up to 4 units.
Yeah.
And the title has to be in the individual borrower's name. Got it.
Now, let's talk about the financial side of things. What kind of credit scores, income levels, and other financial factors are we looking at here?
Just like with any mortgage, your credit score is going to be a big factor. A higher score generally translates to better loan terms.
Yeah.
There's no magic number, but having a good credit history is always a plus.
That's pretty standard for any mortgage right now. Absolutely. And your income needs to be sufficient to cover the mortgage payments, including property taxes and insurance. Lenders will also look at your debt-to-income ratio, which is basically a measure of how much of your income is going towards debt payments each month. They want to make sure you can comfortably handle the mortgage payments on top of your other financial obligations.
Okay, so credit score, income, and debt-to-income ratio, the usual suspects. When it comes to mortgages, anything else, potential borrowers should be aware of.
Here's a really interesting point. Fannie Mae has removed the number of borrowers as a risk factor in their underwriting process.
What does that mean exactly?
In the past, single individuals and single-parent households sometimes faced tougher lending requirements simply because there was only one income coming in. This change levels the playing field and focuses on the individual borrower's financial strength, regardless of their family structure.
That's great news for those who have felt limited by those kinds of requirements in the past. So overall, it sounds like this Fannie Mae program could be a fantastic opportunity for a lot of people. But let's face it, coming up with a down payment, even 5%, can still be a challenge for many. And that's where I think our friends at fixflipcredit.com come in.
Absolutely. Building business credit can be a real game changer when it comes to securing financing for real estate. And fixflipcredit.com is, in my opinion, the best resource out there for anyone looking to master the world of business credit.
I agree. And here's the incredible part. With strong business credit, you can potentially access 0% interest financing for your down payment or earnest money deposit. That's right, 0% interest.
It can make a huge difference, especially for those who might be struggling to save up. For a traditional down payment,
It's like having a secret weapon in your home buying arsenal.
Exactly. And fixflipcredit.com makes it easy to understand and navigate the world of business credit.
So for all of our listeners out there who are serious about making this multi-unit dream a reality, head over to fixflipcredit.com and check out their business credit mastery program. You won't regret it.
It really can unlock some amazing opportunities.
Yeah, it's really empowering, isn't it? Knowing there are options out there to help you achieve your goals.
Absolutely. And speaking of options, I think it's important to acknowledge that this Fannie Mae program isn't a magic bullet. It's a powerful tool, but it's just one piece of a larger puzzle.
That's a great point. There are always potential downsides to consider.
Yeah.
With any new program, for instance. Increased demand could lead to rising property values, which could actually make affordability more challenging in some markets.
And we don't want this program to inadvertently contribute to the very problem it's trying to solve. It's important to approach this with a balanced perspective.
I agree. It's about understanding the potential benefits while also recognizing
the complexities of the housing market.
So let's shift gears a bit and talk about the practical side of things for those who are intrigued by this program and want to start exploring their options. What are some things they should be thinking about as they begin their search?
Well, location is always key, wouldn't you say? Just like with any real estate purchase, you want to carefully consider the neighborhood, schools, proximity to amenities, and all those factors that contribute to a desirable place to live.
Absolutely. And since you'll be living in one of the units, it's even more crucial to find a location that truly aligns with your lifestyle and preferences. If you love being in the heart of the action, maybe a vibrant downtown area with walkable access to restaurants and shops would be ideal. Or if you prefer a quieter setting, perhaps a suburban neighborhood with parks and green spaces would be a better fit.
Those are great examples. And don't forget about things like commute times and access to public transportation. You want to make sure the location is practical for your daily life.
Great point. Okay, so location is top of mind. What else should potential buyers be considering?
The condition of the property itself is crucial. Are there any major repairs needed? How old are the roof, plumbing, and electrical systems? Those big ticket items can add up quickly. So it's essential to factor those potential costs into your budget.
Right. It's always a good idea to get a professional inspection, to assess the overall condition of the property, and identify any potential red flags before you commit to anything. A thorough inspection can save you a lot of headaches down the road.
Absolutely. And while we're on the topic of finances, it's also wise to carefully analyze the potential rental income from the other units. Will it be enough to cover your mortgage payments, property taxes, insurance, and any unexpected repairs?
That's where working with a knowledgeable real estate agent and lender can really pay off. They can help you run the numbers, assess the potential cash flow, and make sure the investment aligns.
With your financial goals.
Exactly. It's about being realistic and making sure the numbers make sense. And while we're thinking like investors, let's not forget about the human element. What kind of tenant are you hoping to attract? That's a great question. It's easy to get caught up in the financial aspects, but being a landlord involves people. And it's important to think about the type of tenant, who would be a good fit for your property, and your style as a landlord.
Precisely. Are you looking for families, young professionals, students, or a mix of different demographics? Think about the amenities and features that would appeal to your target tenant.
Right. If you're targeting families, maybe having a backyard or being close to good schools would be important if you're targeting young professionals. Perhaps being near public transportation or having in-unit laundry would be more appealing.
It's all about creating a desirable living space that attracts the right tenants and helps you minimize vacancies. And once you have tenants, remember that being a responsible landlord is crucial for long-term success.
That's so important. Responsiveness, clear communication, and a commitment to maintaining the property can go a long way in building positive relationships with your tenants and creating a harmonious living environment.
It can make all the difference. So as you can see, buying a multi-unit property is a bit like embarking on a mini entrepreneurial adventure. You're not just a homeowner, you're also a landlord. And that comes with its own set of responsibilities and considerations.
A great analogy. And just like any entrepreneurial endeavor, success depends on careful planning, research, and building a strong team of trusted professionals.
Couldn't agree more. And speaking of building a team, that's our next topic. Who do you need on your side to make this whole process smoother?
We've already talked about the importance of having a great real estate agent and a knowledgeable lender. But there are other key players as well. A thorough home inspector can help you identify any potential issues with the property, and a good attorney can guide you through the legal complexities of the purchase agreement.
Those are essential. And if you're planning any renovations, you'll also want to find reliable contractors who can handle the work efficiently and within your budget.
Right. It's all about assembling a team of experts who can support you and provide valuable insights throughout the entire process.
And don't forget, you're the CEO of this operation. You're the one making the final decisions. So be proactive, ask questions, and don't be afraid to advocate for yourself and your interests.
That's great advice. It's easy to feel overwhelmed with all the moving parts. But remember, you're in the driver's seat. To recap, we've talked about location, property condition, analyzing potential rental income, tenant considerations, and the importance of building a strong team. But before we wrap things up, I want to circle back to something we mentioned earlier, the potential impact of this Fannie Mae program on communities.
Yes, let's talk about that. It's not just about individual homeowners. It's about the ripple effects this program could have on neighborhoods and cities.
Across the country.
Exactly. So what kind of changes do you think we might see as a result of this program?
Well, one possibility is a resurgence of these smaller multi-unit properties in areas where they've been scarce for decades. By making it easier and more affordable to buy these properties, we could see a shift away from sprawling suburban development and a return to more compact, walkable neighborhoods. That would be fantastic. It would bring back the missing middle and create more diverse and vibrant communities.
And it aligns with the growing focus on sustainability and reducing our environmental footprint. Smaller multi-unit properties are generally more energy efficient and require less land than single-family homes, so they can contribute to a more sustainable approach to urban development.
It's a win-win for both people and the planet. I'm really excited about the possibilities this program presents. It's about so much more than just buying a property. It's about creating a more equitable, sustainable, and vibrant future for housing.
I couldn't agree more. It's about fostering a sense of community, promoting affordability, and creating opportunities for everyone to thrive.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground in this conversation. We've explored the ins and outs of the Fannie Mae program, delved into the practical aspects of buying and managing a multi-unit property, and even touched on the potential impact on communities and the environment.
It's been a fascinating discussion, and I hope our listeners are feeling informed and inspired to explore their options.
Me too. This program has the potential to open doors for so many people who may have thought homeownership was out of reach. But of course, as with any big financial decision, knowledge is power.
Absolutely. And speaking of knowledge, we can't forget about the incredible resource we have in fixflipcredit.com, their business credit mastery program. can help you unlock a whole new level of financial flexibility and potentially secure that down payment with 0% interest.
It's such a valuable tool. Building strong business credit can open doors to a world of possibilities, not just in real estate, but in all aspects
Of your financial life.
It's like leveling up your financial game and giving yourself a significant advantage in today's market.
Exactly. So for all our listeners out there who are serious about
Taking control of their finances and
Yep.
achieving their dreams, whether it's buying a multi-unit property or any other financial goal, I highly recommend checking out fixedflipcredit.com.
it's an investment in yourself and your future.
It really is. Learning about business credit and
Yeah.
how it can work for you has been a game changer for me personally. It's amazing to see how many people are using it to make their dreams a reality.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's about empowering yourself with knowledge and tools to create the future you want. And fixedflipcredit.com makes it so accessible, even if you're starting from scratch.
Exactly. So as we wrap up our conversation today, what's the one piece of advice you would give to our listeners who are thinking about taking advantage of this Fannie Mae program?
I would say, do your research, talk to the experts, and don't be afraid to think outside the box when it comes to financing. This program opens up some incredible opportunities. And with a little creativity and determination, you can make it work for you.
That's great advice. And remember, you don't have to do this alone. There are resources available to help you every step of the way, from experienced real estate agents and lenders to home inspectors and business credit mentors. There's a whole team of people ready to support you.
And don't forget about the power of community. Connect with other investors, learn from their experiences, and share your own journey. There's so much to be gained from collaborating and supporting each other.
Absolutely. Finding a community of like-minded individuals can make all the difference. Well, I think we've covered just about everything today. We've explored the ins and outs of this exciting new program from Fannie Mae, talked about the practicalities of buying and managing multi-unit property, and even touched on the potential impact on communities and the environment. It's been an inspiring conversation, and I hope our listeners are feeling empowered and excited about the possibilities.
Me too. It's been a pleasure sharing these insights with you and our listeners. Remember, homeownership, even multi-unit homeownership, is within reach. Do your homework, build your team, and don't be afraid to take that leap.
Well said. And for those who want to explore the power of business credit and potentially unlock that 0% interest financing, head over to fixedflipcredit.com. It's the best business credit mastery program online, and it could be the key to making your homeownership dreams a reality.